morning, everybody. Welcome to another brand new live episode of Mornings with the Outlaw here on its brand new times, Tuesdays and Thursdays, brand new days, rather, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:30 a.m. I am the Outlaw, John Rocha. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. They say you shouldn't wear white on camera. Well, I'm wearing a little bit of white, so I hope it doesn't throw you all off. But I'm joined by, look at this incredible outfit that Alex Shashek has on. I love it. It's good. Was that a jacket? Is that a Thai-inspired jacket or an Asian-inspired jacket in any way? I love it.
No, I've had it for a few years now. I don't remember where I got it, to be completely honest. So right, it's just like, enough. It's not so much an Asian one. I'm like one of those people that has to touch everything when I try it on. Obviously, you tried everything you tried on, but like I'm always like doing this to all my stuff. Everything I own has like some kind of weird texture. Nice. So, and this is one of those things, and I'm like, yes. Just petting myself, yes.
I'm not gonna lie, there's something about the feel of certain fabric that's good to enjoy, Yeah,
or patterns.
Yeah, patterns, all that kind of stuff. And look, you are coming off a fun show last night with your Schmobates, the dungeon inspired. I stopped in for about 10 minutes. A lot of fun listening to Robert Parker and Eric Zipper and Adam Witt on there with you. Certainly, you must have had a lot of fun with those people.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're, everyone that was like, hanging out with us. It was really fantastic people. So many awesome people dropping in here pretty soon. I'm really excited. I'm going to be doing a Finstock exchange episode.
What? Uh-oh.
Yes.
Who you got for that one? Uh-oh.
Well, I don't know yet. I need to ask people. No. I've been trying. I actually really want to reach out to Sabrina since I haven't chat with her personally. Sabrina and so I would love for her. Yeah,
that'd be a good one. I agree. I mean, who knows if she's going to get into the tournament? So any kind of debate or battle against people would be a good thing for Sabrina to be involved in, for sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, we want to make it so she can't get in the tournament. Certainly we want Dan to win the belt, or to retain the belt rather, but you never know. A lot of craziness going on. I want to thank the Outlaw Nation people who are watching us this morning. Thank you to the patrons as well who were with me last night. Open the doors up for all patrons, not just the $5 patrons, to come in and hang out. And all of them were very, very kind, very supportive about the match on Friday. And a couple of them were pretty super pissed about some of the decisions that were made judges wise by the judges there, not just Mark Ellis, but also Harloff and a couple of the people who were involved there. They also felt that Sid Pollock was certainly legible and that I should have challenged it, since I had a challenge in my back pocket to end the show. But at the time, just a little bit nervous, maybe not a little bit thinking straight, and should have done it. But I do want to break this incredibly stupid illusion that Ethan was just chill because he was sitting on a couch. He was certainly on edge, and his reactions proved it. So everyone needs to kill that stupid narrative that he was somehow just hanging out and having a good time and wasn't rattled by what was happening. He was. Let me tell you.
100%. He is, don't get me wrong, overall a very chill dude.
Yes, he is.
He's the most chill dude out there. He definitely came off that way. But at the same time, you definitely did your job. I've never seen him rattle before, and you rattled him. I was like, are we seeing like a new side of Ethan? What?
Yeah, I liked it.
What is this?
We will meet again. We will meet again. And when that time happens, I think it'll be Titanic when we meet each other again.
Yeah, never seen that version. So I was like, Rocha did something really good here. So I approve. I love it.
Just a little touch. Just a little humanity poking through. That's all I need.
Just humanity with a knife. Like here.
Sure.
Just poking you aggressively.
Figurative knife. Arkham says, Rocha, it's just your typical keyboard warriors instigating, bro. Yeah, of course. What else are they going to do? They're not competing. They're not stars. So what else are they going to do? All right. So just to let you all know, we do have the Streamlabs and the Super Chats open. As I said on Tuesday, the way this show stays alive is for you all contributing and helping and supporting the Outlaw Nation with your Streamlabs, with your Super Chats, all of that. We got so much to talk about today. Big news breaking, certainly about Captain Marvel 2 that broke just a little bit yesterday and got confirmed overnight from a number of reliable sources here in the industry that this is actually happening. So we'll get into it right now, and that is with the addition of Nia DaCosta. She is going to be the director for Captain Marvel 2. That has been announced, and a couple other people like Boris Kidd over there, THR, Justin Kroll, who used to be at Variety. I think he's at Deadline now. all confirm that this is happening. She is going to take over. For those of you who may not know who she is, she just finished directing the Candyman reboot or sequel, however they're pitching this thing, from Jordan Peele. And for those of you who maybe are big-time independent film watchers, you might know her as the director of this awesome little film called Little Woods with Tessa Thompson and Lily James. So Nia DaCosta taken over here as the director for Captain Marvel. To pretty exciting stuff, I would have to say, Alex. And, Tessa Thompson promised that there would be more diversity in the MCU. And as we go into phase 5, as we on the heels of the Black Lives Matter movement, on the heels of Hollywood kind of opening its eyes to it, or PR wise opening their eyes about racism that's been going on systemically within what you would normally term a progressive liberal Hollywood. It seems to be that these are ways that this is all happening. Eyes are being more opened. People are being more receptive to having people of color stepping in to direct their films or to produce their films or to write their films or to act in those films. And Nia DaCosta is certainly an example of that. She's earned her way to this position, no doubt, but I think it also helps that everything is more wide open now than it's ever been for casting and for hiring people on for jobs.
Absolutely. It's really interesting. Honestly, even with a lot of the protests and everything, going on right now, I honestly still think she would be, the front runner for this. She's been in talks to be the director for this film for a while now, actually. She's definitely been top consideration. Now, even before everything kind of went over, when she directed Little Woods not too long ago, the reason why she ended up getting Candyman is because Jordan Peele himself, he saw Little Woods himself, and he was like, you know what, this is a girl I need to look out for, and I'm going to have her in charge of Candyman. I love that. And, obviously all the stuff we've gotten from Candyman, personally, I think it looks fantastic, and she's worked with, some pretty notable actors as well. She's no stranger to, and she's comfortable with special effects. She's comfortable with, thrillers. Little Woods is more of like a crime thriller Western kind of
situation. Modern Western,
Yeah. Candyman's obviously a psychological horror, social horror kind of film. Right. And, this upcoming Marvel film, it's, regardless of how you feel about, Brie Larson or anything like that, it made a whole lot of money. I don't think it was a great movie, but, you can't deny, there's so many really cool things about it. So, I'm sure they're looking to, fix some, directorial, issues where maybe a lot of me, myself included, thought it was a little bland. So I'm really excited to see this really cool new creative force really jump in, behind the camera in this way.
Yeah, and this isn't the first time Marvel has done this with a franchise. Remember, Branagh directed the first Thor and was replaced for the second Thor, and so
Patty Jenkins, right?
Yeah, Patty Jenkins never directed an MCU film, but I mean,
she was supposed to.
Right. She was supposed to do supposed to do another film there for the MCU, but this has happened, and so you step into this situation. There is a track record of this happening. Iron Man 1 and 2 directed by Favreau, and then what's his face steps in there, Shane Black, for Iron Man 3. So there is a kind of legacy of this happening in the MCU, and it's not a bad thing necessarily. So you look at something like this, we got a whole new crew coming in, not only Nia DaCosta, but Megan McDonnell, who is the story editor for WandaVision. She's written the script for Captain Marvel 2. Of course, Brie Larson comes back, and I agree with you, Alex. I don't think the film is that good. I will probably never go back and watch it. There's nothing of real interest for me to enjoy in that movie other than Brie Larson's performance. But even her performance isn't enough to save the movie for me. I think her performance in Avengers Endgame is much more interesting and layered and complex than what we saw in Captain Marvel, unfortunately. And nothing against Ryan Fleck and Anna Boden. Sometimes the leap is not the right leap for everybody. Not everybody can jump into the bigger pool and be like, oh yeah, I know I can get a good movie out of this. Sometimes you know what, maybe this isn't for us. We tried it. We're going to move on to something else. So we'll see here. But Nia DaCosta, I think stepping in is fantastic as well. Let's see. I wanted to bring this up. You've got a strong group of female filmmakers coming in. Chloe Zhao, Kathy Yan, who recently did Birds of Prey, which I enjoyed. And so you've got more and more women and women of color coming in to step in behind the camera and hear and see their vision of these superhero movies. So I'm excited about it all. And for those of you who are maybe burgeoning filmmakers, or maybe just starting out, or maybe you're in a place of like, well, is it ever going to happen? Just to let you know, I mean, Nia DaCosta went through, had no intention to become a filmmaker, saw Apocalypse Now. It inspired her to dive into 70s film, which inspired her to fall in love with like Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, William Friedkin, Spielberg, all those Lucas, all those 70s filmmakers. And it was Scorsese that really influenced her. So she went to NYU for film school for that reason. Ended up meeting Scorsese as a PA on a TV show. She was a PA for a long time, then wrote the script for Little Woods. It won the Sundance Fellowship competition in 2015. And from there, her career has been going steadily forward and upward over the last 5 years. So you can be a PA and make it out of that place. You just got to work hard and have a little bit of luck and put it in to certain competitions, whatever your work is. And who knows what can happen for you. Maybe there's someone listening to us or watching us right now, Alex, who might be a future a filmmaker for the MCU. You just never know. So it's exciting to see this happening for Nia DaCosta, also because she's a younger filmmaker as well. I love that idea too, getting some young voices behind the camera and young voices of color to do what they're doing for Captain Marvel too. So is there anything you want to see from Captain Marvel 2 that you didn't see in Captain Marvel 1?
Absolutely. Everything you just said is totally on point. Oh my gosh. If someone in this chat though had, is on that way, I'm so excited for you. It's amazing. I can't wait. I would love to see everything and anything you're doing for sure. Yeah. I love when it comes to the MCU, what I love about it is, its consistency. Mm-hmm. It's, I can there's some things I can rely on it. It's going to be not only can stay consistent, there's going to be some funny moments, but it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be, amazing. However, what my favorite MCU movies personally is Doctor Strange. Now, I know it's not for everyone. Not everyone loves it, but whatever. They have wrong opinions, but just kidding. The thing is, I love that movie because it really takes risks. Yeah. Mike Flanagan, he really did that movie, and he did something weird and interesting, and I really appreciate that, especially with something kind of out of the ordinary with Doctor Strange as a superhero. Actually, I had an argument with someone last night about whether or not he's technically a superhero. So it was like, interesting. There's a lot to kind of dive into with that. Yeah. Now, also with her, she is obviously Captain Marvel is a very complex character. I would really love became a little bit of a risk taker movie. I want to see something weird and interesting. She's a weird character, so really take advantage of that. That's what I would love to see, and I'm sure I can expect a little bit of weirdness, just a little bit from her as a character. Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, and she's roaming the galaxy. So who knows what species she's going to confront and come face to face with. Samuel L., when we left him, he is on Sword. He's on that outer area monitoring the galaxy, not just protecting Earth. So he's on that facility. Well, how's that going to come into play? The repercussions of Avengers Endgame, how's that going to come into play as well? So there's a lot here that's going to be explored and tied into all these other films that are happening in the MCU. So, man, I don't know, man. I think we're all just mentally moving on into phase 5 and hoping it comes out soon. So Black Widow, I really think we're even closer now as all this news starts popping off about stuff that's coming up from the MCU. I think we're even closer now to seeing that thing drop on VOD if we don't have a way to release this thing by the end of the year. The MCU has to keep going. They can't stay in a stasis or a purgatory until this whole thing squares away. People want to move forward with this content, so we shall see. But overall, just great stuff. And like we said, thank you so much for all of you watching us. We've got over 100 of you watching us live now, but only 50 likes. So please give us some likes. Swing that mouse over there, swing that cursor over there, and hit the thumbs up button to give us some likes. Get us over 100 likes as we march towards 150 likes. We got 108 of you all watching us now. It's building and growing as we go along with the show. And also, don't forget your Streamlabs and your Super Chats are the reason we're able to do this show. So we'll need your support to keep it going here every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Shout out to the people who subscribe to the Outlaw Nation as well. If you haven't done that, you can do that down below.
JBX25, Kalen Gruber, Christian Wright, Nordal69, and Total Dial Dundee. I like that, Total Dial Dundee. Cool, yeah. And we've got a few Streamlabs already, Alex. Let's get into them. Askewed_1 said, just an overnight showing of support towards some of the people that make my work nights at the lab bearable. Aw, that's very nice. I appreciate that. Jay Scotty for real has a couple here. He says, good morning. Thursdays are tough for me to watch live, but I still wanted to lend some support. Appreciate what you guys are doing here. This show has in a lot of ways satisfied that itch left in the wake of movie talk. Favorite impromptu musical numbers. Say a little prayer for you from my best friend's wedding. Always puts a smile on my face and gets me singing along. Good question. So favorite impromptu musical numbers.
Oh my gosh. Like, do they like where they're actually singing or like a musical?
I think when they're actually singing, but sometimes it's impromptu in a musical as well, or supposed to be impromptu.
I can't think of that many specific examples on the dot, to be honestly. I can only think of like a handful of random karaoke moments.
Okay.
Like my best friend's wedding and just going back to 500 Days of Summer, where that's definitely not a rom-com and where he is a bad guy.
Oh, that's a good one.
But but there is a scene. There's actually a scene at the very beginning where they're doing karaoke and everything, and Tom he sings. Oh crap! I can't remember what. It's a great soundtrack, fantastic soundtrack. I can't remember what song he does. But Zooey Deschanel character, she sings the shoo shoo shoo. Shoo, 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 Sugar Town. That one.
Oh, right, right.
I'll take that one.
Town, yes.
It's cute. It's just a nice little light one. So
just her and her ukulele. Absolutely, yeah.
That's cute.
I've got a top 20 here. Let's see. Wayne's World, Bohemian Rhapsody. Absolutely. That's a good
my gosh. I can't believe I forgot that
one. Cuban Pete from The Mask. When Jim Carrey does Cuban Pete in The Mask, that's good. Beetlejuice, the Deo, the banana song, Deo. That's a fun one as well. Almost Famous, Tiny Dancer in the Bus. That's probably my top 3, I would say, for sure. Let's see. Let's see who the second one is. Someone mentioned Lord of the Rings. Doesn't really count, in my opinion. Back to the Future, John B. Good. Quite the same thing. Let's see if there's any other ones that I can.
Someone in the chat did mention Heath Ledger in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, yeah. He has a song there, huh?
Great suggestion. I love you, baby. That one. That one, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. Someone put I was looking on the list here. Always look on the bright side of life from the Life of Brian with Monty Python. That's a great one. 40-Year-Old Virgin, Steve Carell. All right at the end when they sing the Age of Aquarius.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
That's a good one. I like that one. Putting on the Ritz from Young Frankenstein. I like that one as well.
I've
good
never
choices.
Seen Young Frankenstein.
What? Oh yeah, you've got to get into that.
There's a reason why I'm part of a show called Cinema Bias. We fill into each other's gaps, man.
All right, and thanks, Jay Scotty, for those. Ben Rayner chimed in. He said, "Hey guys, sounds like a very solid director, and I am pumped for Captain Marvel 2. I wonder if it will take place in present day or back in the past. I guess we'll find out eventually. New director, new flavor of the movie." Yeah, good question. I mean, I think we went back in the past for the first one, so I can't imagine they'll go back in the past necessarily for the second one. Maybe there'll be some flashbacks, but I can't imagine they'll go back in the past. And what role will Lashana Lynch's character play in Captain Marvel 2 as well? How much of her will we see in the movie, and will we see of their friendship as Carol goes out into the galaxy possibly? Will she come along? I think Monique Rambeau is her name, and she becomes Captain Marvel down the road as well, or her daughter does. So those are possibilities too throughout that we can explore in Captain Marvel 2. So yeah, good stuff. I'm excited as well, Ben Rayner, and we talked about it earlier here. Andrew Burnett, our last Streamlab for now, he says, I believe that Mulan is the test subject for Disney Premium VOD. How much money does it need to make for Disney to release Black Widow? Alex, any thoughts on that, do you think? How much money do you think it has to make?
Over $500 million.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. I'm going there. I'm applying a lot of the same rules as if it were rolled in a theater. The movie costs what, $200 million to make, not including marketing. So I'm just taking a lot of that taking those numbers. So in order to be considered a success, you have to double the budget plus anywhere between and plus so much. And considering it's Mulan, I'm going to assume the marketing is more than like $5 million. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like that's honestly a pretty realistic number, but I already know so many people that have had like posted online in a whole bunch of places saying that this is considered a steal, a huge steal, and they are no doubt going to see it. Even if they don't, if they don't, they're like, I don't really care about getting Disney Plus, but it sounds like I have to get Disney Plus now. So you know what? Yeah.
Oh, so you're one of those people that doesn't have it.
Oh, I personally am, but I have several friends, and family members that said I didn't have Disney Plus before, but now I guess I have to.
Right, right. Okay.
And Mulan was like my girl back in the day. So
all right.
The only Asian Disney princess. Yo.
Yes.
Yeah. She was the only one I like related to. It's like her and Pocahontas. I was like, Ariel's not doing it for me. Sorry, Belle, you're not doing it for me. Yeah. Mulan.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the film itself, with Trolls World Tour, I think Trolls World Tour made about 300 million. So maybe it can make 500 million. Certainly it's possible with Mulan. Because obviously that Disney reach is a lot stronger than the Trolls World reach. Yeah. So we'll see how many people dive into this, and people are desperate for new content. And I know all those people complaining about the $30 price point will probably buy it anyway. Will absolutely probably buy it anyway, begrudgingly, because they want to watch it and what have you. So we shall see. I think that's a good number, actually. If it does that, then yeah, absolutely. I think Black Widow is on course, especially if we keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I also do want to clarify, in order for it to not only that movie to be a success, but for Disney to be like, Black Widow. That's what we're steering for. We're not talking about like what we actually think it's gonna make or anything like that. We're just doing specifics for Black Widow.
Yeah, we're speculating for that. Absolutely. All right. Keep them Streamlabs, keep them Super Chats coming in, everybody. Please keep supporting this show. We got 121 of y'all watching, 78 likes. Let's get to that 100. Come on, y'all. 22 more likes. Hit that thumbs up button. All right, let's move on to our next story here, Alex. And we wish Nia DaCosta the best as she takes on Captain Marvel 2. All of us are excited to see what will come out of that. But let's switch gears a little bit to another comic book company and another comic book movie, and that's the Suicide Squad. That right there is the new logo they just released. That's an old school 70s, maybe even 60s logo with the thick font. The thick, fat font, the red there. It's really cool. I love the yellow making it pop. Love the bullet wounds all through Suicide there as well. This was released on Twitter yesterday, apparently as a kind of happy birthday to James Gunn as well. And a number of the actors who are part of the Suicide Squad, including John Cena, Dave Dastmalchian, Joel Kinnaman, a number of them jumped on there and sang for Margot Robbie leading it off. Sang happy birthday. Jai Courtney was on there as well. So it was about a minute-long video that is on there for you all to enjoy if you're fans of the people involved in the movie. You look at this logo, though, Alex. Like, what's your thoughts? Do you like it? Is it badass? Do you like that feel, the look, the color combo? What's your thoughts?
It kind of reminds me, like you said, like a lot of stuff from the 70s, 80s. Oh, yeah. It reminds me of a lot of shows from the 80s in particular. Yeah. My first thought was Ninja Turtles for some reason, or like Transformers, and I like the animated series. Even though I know they don't relate in any way, but my first thought was like that, kind of process. I think it looks really cool, and not only that, it was presented by James Gunn, and he's one of those directors I trust 1,000,000%. After Guardians of the Galaxy, say what you will about the second one, it was still really cool, though. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still, Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm pretty excited to see this go forward. There's a lot of people that are involved, new characters involved that I'm really excited to see on film for the very first time, and several reoccurring characters. Jai Courtney, put him in everything. He definitely needs more love. He does, and he's not only a beautiful human being, but he's such a cool, chill Australian dude. So I'm so here for it. But it looks so good.
Yeah, I agree. He said it came with this moniker. The cast and I have so much to show you guys on August 22nd, obviously referring to the DC Fandome event that's happening, or the Fandome event that's happening. And remember, the original cast members are coming back, as I mentioned: Margot Robbie, Viola Davis, Joe Kinnaman, Jai Courtney, but then Idris Elba, who's on this as well. John Cena, Storm Reed makes an appearance. For those of you who have seen her in Wrinkle in Time or in The Invisible Man, that young lady is going to absolutely blow up the Hollywood for sure. Nathan Fillion, Peter Capaldi's in this thing, Taika Waititi, Pete Davidson, Alice Braga, who you also see, and Michael Rooker in that video, which was pretty cool. He is also working on the third Guardians of the Galaxy film after this, and responded to a fan question about his schedule on Twitter, saying, I can confirm that the plans for when we're filming Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and when it's being released have not changed at all over the past year and a half or so. Any rumors otherwise are false. I appreciate your caution. At this point, The Suicide Squad is set to debut in cinemas next summer, and a third Guardians has not set a date for its release yet. Yeah, Alex, I'm a big fan of this logo. I like the look. I like the vibrancy of it. I prefer it in Spanish myself, but that's all right with me. I don't mind the English version there, but I dug it. I like it's vibrant. It pops. It's got some thick, fat letters that feel like a military. Being in the military, those thick, fat fonts you'll see on the older stuff when you are like putting stuff away or whatever. It kind of makes me feel like for those of us who are old enough to remember, it reminds me of the Sergeant Rock comic book series.
Oh my gosh.
Right? It has that vibe to it. So I like it. It's badass. It's strong. It's powerful. Who knows what we're going to get from the movie, but I think this is a great way to kind of get people excited. And slowly but surely over the last few days, we're in August, we're rounding corner into the second week of August. This August 22nd Fandome event is sitting right there waiting for us to watch. It'll be live. Everybody's going to be able to get in. I mean, you're going to be able to get in. I don't know if you will be able to get in, but you can get in to watch it all free. So hopefully we'll get some great content to talk about on this show and other shows on the Outlaw Nation. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right. It's away for sure. Also, we got to remember, though, Tyler Bates is also doing the score for this movie.
Yes, Tyler Bates.
And he has created some of my favorite movie scores of all time. Personally, I mean, the score for John Wick is severely underdone. Same for Sucker Punch. I don't like the movie all that much. It's an interesting movie, but that score is bomb. And same for Watchmen and 300. Oh, that score for 300.
The 300 score is excellent.
Workout. That is the best workout score ever. Drop that there.
Yeah, I just watched the movie and workout, but I totally get it. Yeah, so the score is certainly a part of it. Absolutely. Especially that scene where the ships are crashing in the ocean and the rain is going on there. That score is awesome. That cue. All right, we got one Streamlab that rolled through here. DJ Brian says, "Hi, Rocha and Alex. Question for you guys. Are you guys still looking forward to seeing the Avatar sequels, even if they were all pushed back to 2022 or whenever it's supposed to be released?" DJ, let's answer that question as we move into the next story of ours. Maybe move it up a little bit in the rundown. Let's jump on it now. And that is Avatar, the Twitter account for Avatar. And I think James Cameron himself retweeted these. But there was some concept art released for Avatar 2 for these underwater mechs. Let's take a look at this thing. It's initially a crab when it's out of the water. Look at it. It says CET Ops. All of that is there. It's a pretty cool design, I think, in my opinion. It's new concept art. It's transformable underwater mech that is part of Avatar 2. The vehicle is known as the, quote, crab suit. I think you can tell why it's called. That's one of the many new RDA vehicles we will see in this films. The Ocean of Pandora will play a big part in the second of the planned 5 total films for the franchise. It's all being done down there in New Zealand already. Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Joel David Moore, Dilip Rao, Stephen Lang, Sigourney Weaver, and Matt Gerald are all part of this thing, as well as Kate Winslet, Edie Falco, Michelle Yeoh, Vin Diesel, Jermaine Clement, and Una Chaplin. At this point, Avatar is aiming to release on December 17th, 2021. And let's take a look at what it looks like in the water. That's what it looks like in the water.
Oh, that looks pretty cool.
Right? Pretty cool design, pretty awesome thing. And I like this. This is still threatening as well. You almost want to see Sigourney Weaver pop out of that thing and say, what does she say in Aliens 2? Take your hands off her, you bitch. Like something like that. So I'm a big fan of what this looks like. So, A, Alex, do you like the look of this Underwater Mechs? And 2, are you excited for Avatar 2, even if it does get pushed to 2022, according to DJ Brian's question?
I'm more excited about the stories that's going to come out from this weird shooting process.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's been crazy, doing, the Avatar sequels. Is it happening? Is it not happening? I don't even know. What is time? What is life? James Cameron, is, regardless of how you feel about him as a director, he is definitely one of the most notable, most profitable directors ever in history. And the thing is, he does he's made very few movies, and because of the few movies that he's directed, how successful they were, he does on his downtime. He loves to be involved in a lot of environmental activism. Yeah. He's very involved. He does a lot of deep sea exploration. He has helped fund several documentaries for deep sea diving and exploration. And he was involved in creating several forms of deep sea technologies in order so we can film underwater and things like that. So obviously, when it comes to this kind of underwater technology, even if it's all concept art, I'm like, that sounds like something he would totally make 100%. And I believe someone like James Cameron be having a firsthand design aspect to create these machines, which they look pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. Yeah.
Video Drew joining us this morning. Interesting stuff. It says, so it turns out I loved Justice League. Not proud of it. Well, you shouldn't be proud of liking that movie, but I totally understand if you enjoy the movie. There are scenes in that movie that I like, but overall not the best movie for sure. But thank you, Video Drew, for joining us. Good to see you this morning.
There's nothing wrong with loving a movie that you like. There's nothing wrong with it. If you love that movie, be proud of it. You can have, bad opinions or whatever aside. Everyone says I have the worst opinions, even though they're wrong.
Really?
So.
Really?
I have a lot of people. I've had several people DM me being like, yeah, you have the worst opinions ever.
Wow.
Yeah, it's awesome.
DM you. That's a person.
Yeah. Some people are trash. Some people, not all people, but some people are absolute trash. For every one really aggressive weenie out there, there's a million and one awesome people, especially in this chat. And, so, I'm very grateful overall.
Yeah, me too. I would echo some of your sentiments here. I mean, I love the look of this stuff. It looks, Cameron's always great with the visual things, always great with the vehicles. It's always cool to get you into the problems with Cameron stuff is always comes up with story. It's always the issue of story. Is the story good enough? Is the story something that really going to stick with you? There are elements of the story that works, but it doesn't overall work most of the time. Even Avatar, which made all that money, was the highest grossing film until Endgame. It was a bit of borrowing from Dances with Wolves, borrowing from Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest, which is something that my geek buddy mentioned, Michael Vogel. Yes, Pocahontas. All of that's just the Native American stories. All of it is there. And you throw in something as obviously ridiculous, like unobtainium. It just makes it all kind of nutty.
So funny.
Yeah. I mean, and you hope that going into these 4 films, because that's so long to kind of come up with the idea for these, that they're fun, they're smarter, they're more interesting and layered and complex, and still have the great James Cameron action that you love from his movies that you can enjoy. So we shall see. I love it. I'm even more excited now seeing this tech, and I may just be because we haven't had anything new pop up. All the movies have been delayed. All this production is delayed. So seeing some new images, seeing some new things coming out of these sequels that are coming up kind of excites me to see these sequels where I might be a little bit apathetic about it or a little bit exhausted by it. I'm actually now kind of re-excited or reignited by seeing these images. So I'm down.
Yeah. No joke. And it comes to this concept art. I mean, you may not like the world of Avatar. I know a lot of people that don't. Thing is, even the movie itself is, regardless of how you feel about it, new script and everything, the world itself is really, really cool. Yeah. And, I'm excited to really explore that, a lot more, the mythology behind, this population and the tree and, the creatures, the crazy, weird creatures involved. I can't. What? But,
what?
There's a lot, but it's a beautiful world. So I'm excited to see more of it above, water or below water. So.
Yeah, fair. All right. Well, let us know what you think about this Underwater Mech. If you're watching us after we've recorded this live, leave us a comment down there in the chat, in the comments section, talking about what you enjoyed about the first 3 stories. Do you like Nia DaCosta coming in as director? Do you like this idea? Do you like the logo for the Suicide Squad? Do you like these Underwater Mech concept art coming here for Avatar 2? Are you still on board, or are you not on board the Avatar train? Whether it comes out in 2021 or 2022, let us know in the comments section. Hit that like button as well. Let's see. We're looking at we got a Streamlab that rolled in here from Andrew Burnett. Alex says, what song makes you think of the movie it's a part of? For example, Berlin and Take My Breath Away goes with Top Gun, or Leanne Rimes in Con Air with How Do I Live? What do you say there, Alex?
So we're tying songs to movies.
Yeah, when you hear a song, what like when you hear a song and it makes you think of the movie? What song, when you hear it now, makes you think of the movie first?
The entire. I mean, there's whole really great soundtracks. So it's one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, including I don't care about the movie Cruel Intentions, but that soundtrack.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
And same for if we're going back to Twilight. Whatever about the movie, that soundtrack is so good. So good. I actually, at my wedding, we almost had our first dance to a Twilight song, but I was like, that's how much the soundtrack, I don't care about the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Soundtrack's so great. Romeo and Juliet's wonderful. But probably one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, where any of the songs I associate with the movie, any one of them.
Okay.
Whitney Houston's The Bodyguard.
Oh yeah.
Queen of the Night. Yeah. It's a weird one. I love it. She gets experimental and wacky. It's fun.
Yeah. I would have to say In Your Eyes from Peter Gabriel in the Say Anything moment, right? I think that's the one that really, like, when you hear that song, you're like, immediately you think of Say Anything. For those of us who've seen it, Alex.
I love that movie.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Stuck in the Middle with You, that in Reservoir Dogs, and they stole diamonds and jewels. You sons of bitches. Anyway, I would
have given you that point. Honestly, I really would have. I'm like.
There are so many points I should have gotten in this day.
Yeah, like anyway. Come on, like. But
Stuck in the Middle with You. Whenever it comes, it was a long time ago. It was. You're right. So when I hear Stuck in the Middle with You, I immediately think of Reservoir Dogs for sure, and what happens in that moment. Shout by the Isley Brothers when it pops up in Animal House. Of course, Animal House now kind of problematic in retrospect, but that scene when they start to sing Shout, and it's not the Isley Brothers in the movie, it's Otis Day and the Knights. But whenever I hear that, I get so excited to kind of remembering the movie and what I enjoyed about the movie. Let's see. Someone put Old Time Rock and Roll from Bob Seger for Risky Business. Whenever you hear that, you think of Risky Business. I got to throw this one in there for Alex Shashek. And that is when you hear the song Tequila and you think of Pee-wee's Big Adventure. That's right, Alex. That's the one you think of.
Dude.
It is true. I hate to break it to you.
I've only seen it once, so I don't have that association yet. If I see it like another 10 times, maybe the movie just like makes me so uncomfortable in so many ways. But going off of Drew, thank you for bringing to my attention. Relax from Zoolander.
Oh yeah, that's right. Relax.
Relax. Don't do it. And you want to go through it.
That is good. Yes.
Thank you so much, girl. Love you. But yeah, I love that movie. That movie's
good. Yeah, she put it in Body Double. Yeah, De Palma's Body Double. Yeah. That's a good one with was it Melanie Griffith and Craig Wass? Correct me if I'm right. I think it's Craig Wass
Please do, because that movie does not sound familiar in the slightest to me. I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Twist and Shout, right, from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's a good one, Michael Nip. Yeah. I remember that. A little known fact about Body Double, the voice of Pinky in the Brain, he plays some weird production assistant who shows up. Rob Paulson, the voice of Pinky in the Brain, he is a weird production assistant. So when you watch the movie, he's still a young actor. You can catch him there. It's very, very funny to see him. Craig Wasson. Damn it, Craig Wasson. I was close. I was so close. 2 letters off. Anyway, all right. Oh, yeah, everything I do it for you. Robin Hood and the Prince of Thieves. Sure.
Oh, I forgot about that movie.
Yeah. I like that movie. Oh, well, how can I say this correctly? I think the movie, if it was on, I'd watch a few minutes of it or half an hour or whatever. But it's not that good of a movie, but I would certainly watch it, especially because Costner starts out with an English accent. Then he kind of goes, fuck it, halfway through and goes back to his California accent. Yeah. So that happens. At least Christian Slater is consistent with his accent. Werewolf in London, The Color of... Oh, cut it out, Wiley. We're not talking about The Color of Money.
I've never seen that movie. I'll take your word for it. There's so many movies I haven't seen. There's so many movies. I Believe I Can Fly, Space Jam.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too. That's a good one. I mean,
the
less said about R. Kelly, the better. But yes, I agree. Yes. Travis Earl. Yeah, Do It All for Love. Right. It was Sting, Rod Stewart, and Bryan Adams for the Three Musketeers movie from, I think, 1995 with Kiefer Sutherland and Charlie Sheen, Oliver Platt. Chris O'Donnell. Yeah.
I can't remember the song off the top of my head, but from Lost Boys. There's several songs in Lost Boys.
Oh, yeah. Lost Boys. Right.
That's that soundtrack again. Bomb. Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
You can't go wrong with a muscle-bound saxophone player. You can't go wrong with that. With some oil.
I never thought I'd fist bump to a saxophone, but yes. You know what? But it's a bop. Okay, there are bops in there. Like.
Thanks to Wiley rolling in here, moderating a little bit. He said to send your question through Streamlabs. There's the address right there. We've got some Streamlabs that have come through. Let's jump on top of these. I love it. Keep these things coming. These are great suggestions for songs from movies that make you think about the movies. The Sexy Sax Man. Oh, yeah, Webcap. You know what I'm talking about. Let's see. We got, I think, 3 of them that rolled in here. Wiley Todd says, yo, Rocha and Alex, what's your thoughts on the DC Con news with maybe it being virtual, meaning you can control an avatar around the con to the panels? I think you're going to lose a lot of the older people. We're just going to be like, how the hell do I work this thing? But for younger people who they really are marketing towards, I think it's a fantastic thing to use because you can kind of move around and make it virtual, like a VR type situation, and make it unique. Comic-Con at home really crashed and burned with the numbers of people that didn't watch those panels and didn't watch those hosted situations. But this situation, DC Fandome, could be a lot of fun as well if you do the the avatar going into the different rooms. What do you think about this, Alex?
I think it's a really cool idea. I've never done it or anything. Okay. I've never done the thingies before.
Right.
Personally, I've heard it's really, really cool and it's really fun. It's just those things are expensive, so
they are. But the thing is free, so maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. I love being surprised when it comes to this world. It's, there's a lot of really cool, the DC fandom in particular, they definitely make an active effort to, again, they like to get weird with a lot of, the stuff that they like to do with their panels and booths and everything. So you never know. Absolutely.
I agree.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, Jason Earhart says, how would Rocha get around? Ha ha ha. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that.
Jason, rude. Come on now.
Jason knows I can pick him up and throw him around. He's just talking his smack. Blaze of Glory and Young Guns. Yes, that's a good one, Justin Towns. Totally like that one. Absolutely. Whenever I hear Blaze of Glory, immediately think of Young Guns. Good point.
And look at that beautiful mutt in that picture.
Oh, let's bring it back up again. Oh,
man, I just want to. Oh, it reminds me of there's this animated movie with a slow motion dog where he's like, woof.
Yeah.
Woof. It's from, I don't know if you've seen it. It's Triplets of Belleville, one of my favorite animated movies of all time.
Ah, okay.
But, like slow motion dog at one point. It's so weird. I'm sorry. That's like
I love it. No, I love it. All right, let's see. We got two more Streamlabs. Let's roll through here. Ben Rayner says, virtually speaking, Avatar is great. I thought the overall movie was okay. I'll see Avatar 2, but not looking forward to 3 through 5. 2 random songs that pop out to me. Prom Night from Not Another Teen Movie, with movie trivia Shmodown's own Sam Levine, true, and Twist and Shout from Ferris. Absolutely, Ben. We mentioned Twist and Shout already, but yeah, shout out to you pointing out Prom Tonight from Not Another Teen Movie. My friend Heather Brown was in Not Another Teen Movie. If you've ever seen it, she plays the young girl who has the pooping problem in the bathroom. She was great. We were all doing a play, and we got to know that play. It was really interesting. There was a bunch of people on there who worked on that play. They was doing the reindeer monologues really early on here in Hollywood. Diora Baird, who a lot of people know from horror movies now, she was in that play. A very young actress. I think she was dating one of the producers, possibly. Matt Ferrucci, who went on to go get involved with BoJack Horseman, was in that play. Gary Anthony Williams, who a lot of you probably know from numerous TV series, was in that play. And so was the lady who was in from another, Heather Brown, who was in Not Another Teen Movie. And I was in that damn play. So a lot of people were around in that play doing things. So it was a kind of a good mix of talent in that thing. So Jason L said, do you think, do you remember these songs, Alex? Do you remember Prom Night from Not Another Teen Movie? Have you seen that yet?
It's been a very long time since I've seen it. I'm not going to lie. It's probably been over 10 years. So I don't know that particular scene or, song association. I remember seeing it and I remember thinking it was funny, but again, very long time. So.
Fair enough. All right. Jason L. Hey, Jason L., a new patron for the Outlaw Nation. Thank you so much, dude. Great talking with you last night on the Hangout. Jason L. said, greatest movie soundtrack? So many favorites, but I have to go with Reality Bites and Empire Records. 90s rock for the win. Alex, favorite greatest movie soundtrack, Alex. Thoughts?
We kind of dove into some of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Like for a long time, like when I was I'm not a music person. I don't really actively seek out new artists and stuff, albums and all that good stuff. I'm so grateful for Spotify because literally I just type in a mood and I'm like, am I depressed? Am I like super psyched for the day? Whatever my mood is. And I'm so grateful that they pick out my playlist for me. Yeah. But for a long time, I actually had like mood-based soundtracks from movies. Like Reality Bites in particular is a great example. I would listen to that one if I was like feeling kind of morose. That makes sense. It's a very moody soundtrack overall, and I really like it. Pulp Fiction, I don't care about the movie, but that soundtrack is really weird, and I like it. So I'd like put that one on if I was feeling particularly angry.
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy is probably one of the more recent ones. Call Me by Your Name. I listened to that that soundtrack pretty actively, like once a week. Okay. That's how often I listen to that one. Like right now, I've been doing it since the movie came out, honestly.
All right, let me see. I would say Purple Rain, fantastic soundtrack for that movie. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Which essentially revitalized people's interest in bluegrass. That's a fantastic soundtrack for me personally. The Rocky IV soundtrack, you can literally work out to every song on that soundtrack, except for maybe the Gladys Knight, Kenny Loggins duet. But maybe that's your kind of break in between. Yeah, your calm down song that you play there. The Big Chill, certainly a fantastic soundtrack as well. Top Gun is the first 7 songs of Top Gun are pretty fantastic. They don't end that strongly, but overall a good soundtrack. Yes, Reality Bites certainly. I think Tron Legacy for a score / soundtrack is pretty good too, right? Don't you think? Yeah, right.
So good. Oh my gosh, that's why like when we heard news about the potential sequel coming up, I was so excited when Disney was like, we can get whatever director and actors or whatever, that's all fine, but we have to get Daft Punk back. those are the first people. Daft Punk. Can we talk about that? Yeah, that's, oh my gosh. I love Daft Punk. I really do.
I do too. I think the Drive soundtrack is really good, kind of this 80s retro new wave stuff. And by the way, for those of you who are maybe fans of 80s synth music, go and find these like underground YouTube channels that are 80s retro new wave stuff. People nowadays in the 2020s or the 2010s have been making like music that is very reminiscent of that time. It is incredible. Like it's my 1 a.m., 2 a.m. when I can't sleep stuff that I put on that just kind of takes me back to being in the 80s, kind of the old school Michael Mann vibe from those films. So go and find that kind of stuff. And some of that is on the Drive soundtrack. The Footloose soundtrack is certainly fantastic as well. I think
Blade
the blues.
Runner.
Yeah, Blade Runner's good. Absolutely. Even that weird 1940s song that's on there works. Yeah. And the Blues Brothers soundtrack, I think, is pretty damn good as well.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is gonna take up the entire episode, dude. We're just gonna talk all the way about our favorite soundtracks.
I'll change the title. I'll change the title.
That one, they're all so good.
All right. Well, as is our standard recently, we've gone a little far over our time for our first block, but let's get into our break here and talk about the things that we've got going on in our worlds. And please keep those super chats and Streamlabs coming today. Alex, what do you've got going on? I know we talked about something at the beginning of the show, but please plug everything, man.
Yes. Shmobates is a show I'm very proud of. We're trying a new format with voting, and we're trying to go into trying to do a series of faction specific, debates over the next, few weeks. So I'd really enjoy it if you came over to call to action, and definitely subscribe to us and check us out there. It's a podcast that I am actively a part of every flipping day. It's bonkers. But that Cinebias is something I host with Video Drew in the chat, one of my favorite people of all time. On Tuesdays at 10 o'clock Central, we actually dive into, our personal movies that we haven't seen. Now, again, it took me a very long time to become a movie person. I discovered movies like that later in life. Like the first movie I saw that I was like, movies matter, was Alien, and I was like 14. I was at like a sleepover. Very appropriate. And I was like, movies matter. So I kind of discovered it a little bit later. So I'm playing catch up right now, and I always appreciate all the good stuff. But personal thing I'm working on I actually update everyone on Twitter. I'm trying to watch a lot of supernatural horror movies that I've never seen before. I'm on movie number 12 right now.
Oh, wow.
I've watched 12 movies in the past 5 days of supernatural horror movies. So it's been a fun process. Yay. I watched it for the first time. Yes. Watched Insidious for the first time. Oh, nice. I watched It Follows, As Above, So Below. So a lot of supernatural horror movies. So I'd appreciate any movies that you guys think I should watch. Please let me know on Twitter.
There you go.
Right there.
There you go. Yeah, follow him right there. You see underneath there on Twitter, real_Alex Mack. And over here on the Outlaw Nation channel, a lot of stuff going on. Last night I had a really great hangout with the Outlaw Nation patrons. You can do that with me every week when you become part of the Outlaw Nation Patreon, which is right above there, patreon.com/John Rocha. See all the multiple tiers that are available for you to join at, and you can start participating in the shows that we got going on as well. Those will be recorded very soon. We'll get back into that rhythm. I was really caught up with studying for Ethan, so I kind of dropped the ball a little bit on those, but those will start back up again here in August very soon. Also, we just dropped the new episode of the Geek Buddies this morning. That was up there. That's up there for you all to enjoy. It's available now to listen in podcast format, or to listen to it, or to watch it here on the Outlaw Nation channel. And one big one that's coming up tonight, that is live tonight, our first debut episode, Impolite Truths. Me and Dorina Arellano getting into it. Two Latinx people with a lot of fire in our veins, a lot of fire in our blood as well. We're getting into a lot of things. We'll talk about that Trump interview. We'll talk about the explosion that happened in Beirut, what that indicates, talk about some of the stuff that's going on in the local and national races there for some of the surprises that have happened as well, and even get into all the machinations of that as we go along. So please come and join us. That's our political show here, and it's an entertaining, illuminating show. The show is not going to be, it's like Desus, and it's got a kind of Desus and Mero vibe, or Desus and Mero vibe to it. Very playful, very fun, but also informative as hell about what's happening in our world. To kind of broaden the brand of the Outlaw Nation a little bit more as well. And if you missed Tuesday night's Outlaw Nation show, it was me and Jeff Snyder, my first returning guest of the Outlaw Nation show. Who else would it be but Jeff Snyder? Him and I just going at it about a number of subjects, and you'll be surprised to see what side of the fence he's on with this whole Ellen DeGeneres controversy. And we kind of go at it a little bit near the end of the show as well. So as I said, Impolite Truths tonight live at 7 p.m., not 6 p.m., 7 p.m. live. Me and Dorina will go for about an hour, and then the $10 and above patrons can send in their questions and they will be answered on the show. It's kind of a motivational thing. But if you're not a patron, you can donate at the $10 level with Streamlabs and we'll read your question on the show. So there you go. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching the first half of Mornings with the Outlaw. We got a few more minutes before we wrap up. Keep them super chats coming. Let me check the Streamlabs here to see if we got anything new that's rolled through. Oh, Jason L wants to know, Alex, is it true that you showed a Shmodown match at your wedding? If so, which one? Yeah, this has been kind of floating around.
I didn't. I wish I did. That would have been so much more fun.
At your wedding? Okay.
100%. Are you kidding? I would have a Shmodown themed wedding if I could.
Wow.
But that'd be really expensive, you know.
Right.
I would make it a Shmodown live event for my wedding if I could. But again, that'd be very expensive. What I did, I do want to clarify. So it was like one of the big live events was actually, it was the one in LA. Smets was competing against Lovick in Comic-Con. It was the same day as my wedding, June 22nd.
Wow.
And so it's like, obviously a wedding is like an all day thing. The live event doesn't start until the evening. So I'm doing whatever during the day. Thing is, I like take breaks literally away from eating and away from like hanging out with family and friends and everything. Cause I would literally go away for like 20-minute periods to like watch on my phone. Oh shoot. I'd be like, oh shoot, that score is now 6-5. Oh. I had my headphones in, and like Lucas, he would text me. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, and they're like, "Everyone looks like it's like saying like you're angry," and I'm like, "No, I'm watching Shmodown." And he's like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." And I took literal breaks from my wedding to watch a Shmodown match. I took like a break to go to the bathroom for like 20 minutes so I could watch more of the match. You know, priorities though. I was like, Shmodown is a big priority for me. What can I say? It's a big part of my life.
Yeah.
It is.
Lucas knew what he was getting. There was no lies here from the beginning.
You know what? He did ask me what the score was very consistently. Okay.
There you go.
So we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's on it. He's on it. I appreciate that. That's awesome. We should clip this out and send it to Christian. He'll be so excited about it. Of it. Video Drew. Oh, thank you, Video. She's so happy to see Rocha. Our sleep schedules never allow for this. I know. It's good to see you as well, Video. It's very nice of you to pop in. And thank you so much for the donations. Very kind of you. I hope things are going well with all the stuff you've got going on as well, Video. I know. I see the merch. I see the merch store that's out there for Video Drew. If you guys are fans of Video Drew, she has opened a merchandise store. And true to Video Drew form, they are some of the most interestingly vibrant, unusual, and awesome designs that you're ever going to see. So if you want to get any of that stuff, I don't know what the address is, Video. If you send the address through, I'll put it up on the screen for people. But yeah, that merchandise stuff is great. You've inspired me to kind of start having conversations as well with TeePublic to put up some stuff from the Outlaw Nation as well. People like want to have, I've got masks coming that have the Outlaw Nation logo right on the front. So just kind of posting it. So that's the kind of situation I got going on there. So yeah, send in the address, Video Joe. I'll put it up here on the screen for people to go and buy some products from you. Thank you so much for being here this morning. All right. The Outlaw merch store is coming real soon, Jason. Trust me on that. Trust me on that. That's the next step. If I wasn't doing 7,000 shows, it probably would have been a little bit easier to get it up there. I think I need an assistant, for God's sakes. All right, I want to jump into the story. Or first, Alex, before we get into exactly. Once I make enough to afford one, I'll be happy to get one. I want to jump into this story, this Tenet story. This is so interesting here. I know we got only a few minutes. So there was a video that dropped here it's about a 3.5-minute video narrated by Hayley Atwell. Hayley Atwell, of course, Agent Carter. She's got a beautiful voiceover voice for this kind of thing. And you guys can watch this. It's about, as I said, 3.5 minutes. It's a video about Christopher Nolan's new sci-fi action feature Tenet, and it's been released by the Spyscape Museum. And there are no spoilers. It's rather, it explores the film's title and how the word is associated to an ancient puzzle called the Sator Square, or the Sator Square, which has all kinds of permutations about it. Nathan Crowley, the production designer on the film, spoke about it recently. He said a bunch of the time inversion effects in the film were done practically and in camera. Said it's all practical. It was complicated for all departments, specifically for the stunt department. Inversion forward and backward, it changes the whole way the set has to work. The espionage thriller will be opening in 70 countries, including Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Korea, Russia, Spain, and the UK this month, August 26th. And then select cities will see the film on September 3rd ahead of Labor Day weekend. Did you get a chance to watch this video, Alex? And what do you think about the permutations of the word Tenet in this whole puzzle?
Watching this, I actually watched this several times because I fell asleep the first time. Hayley Atwell just has that magical effect.
She does.
Her voice. I don't want to say it's because it's boring or anything, because it's not. It's pretty cool. It's a really cool. It's I love. It's just like really neat. Wordplay. All that good stuff. It's like one of those really weird international puzzles that would come straight from like a Robert Langdon, book or movie kind of thing. It's like right in that alley if you're like a history nut or or anything along those lines. It's just a really cool, interesting little thing. But yeah, Hayley Atwell. Put her in everything, because the entire time I was like, I don't really care all that much about what's going on here, with the puzzle, but her voice, I was like, yes, it's so nice, and it's just so chill. I feel like she needs to be on those go to sleep apps,
the Calm app,
the Calm apps were and now we're just gonna go deeper into our consciousness, and we are just gonna go tap 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 and rake open your brain. I feel like she has that voice. It's so good. But it's really, really cool. Yeah, overall. Yeah. Did you have any fun theories after watching this?
Oh, no, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And I had no idea about the puzzle and all that, what it can mean and what it can relate to. And look, what's fun about exploring these kinds of things is that you can make them mean anything. You can create anything. You can move stuff around to make it. But it's still fascinating that if these puzzles are a lot of Christian places, that tells you, a lot of people have spoken about when you explore the past history, the ancient history of Christianity and all this kind of stuff, that there is a very deeper, a deeper thing going on about it, and still kind of echoes through time now. And some people, kind of claim that there are secret societies that are created specifically to protect that ever coming out to the public too much, so I like that they're willing to go through this with the Tenet situation. I think the video is great because it builds up your anticipation and your hype for the movie as well. Because we're for the last few weeks, we've kind of been making fun of Christopher Nolan, trying to force this film out and kind of being a bit careless about people's lives because of the COVID situation, kind of encouraging people to go to an enclosed space just to see his movie. But when you see this video, you're just like, oh man, I kind of do want to see it now. So it's that kind of vibe, and I think it's intention as well. They're also releasing a new trailer with Christopher Nolan introducing the trailer for the China release of Tenet. So all of this is starting to ramp up, and we'll see more of this stuff, I'm sure, through August as the film is about to open on August 26th internationally, and then September 3rd here in the States. But I loved it. I thought it's good to have that kind of, she would be a good ASMR. Absolutely. Oh my God.
Yeah, she would. Oh my Lord. It was just so
nice.
It's like such a comfortable voice. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it was really cool. I actually, one of my big things when I write questions, like my 1,000,001 movie questions, I love putting on ancient aliens in the background because I need something brainless.
Yeah,
and ancient aliens is just it's just ridiculous, and it's a fun time. Like, I don't believe in it. You know, do I believe in aliens? Yes. Do I believe they made the pyramids? No. I'm sorry, EMS. You know, that just didn't happen. You know, even the Egyptian prime minister was like, please come to the pyramids. We'll explain to you how aliens did not make the pyramids.
Right,
the Egyptian prime minister. Oh my gosh, it was hilarious. It was great. But it's just like really fun to think about, you know, these puzzles like this. You know, it's just, you know, they've been around the world. They've been a thing for thousands of years in different religions, different, you know, cultures, you know, since ever. And so it's not something very specific to Christian culture or Europe in particular. It's been everywhere. And so we just gotta, you know, it's just a fun idea, not to mention what they kind of tie in. They're kind of saying, oh, if you find this interesting, you'll maybe find this interesting. And they a free spy assessment, assessment test at the very end with the link, which I thought was really fun. I love that. So
definitely. Cool. So if you haven't watched the video, if you guys haven't watched the video, definitely watch the video. Let me know what you all think about it, or let us know what you think about it in the comment section below as well. All right, we got a few more minutes. You know, maybe we can hit your Streamlabs if you send them in the next 10 minutes. Send in anything kind of support you got. Remember, it's the support and the super chats as well. That kind of stuff is what keeps us going here on the Outlaw Nation channel, and certainly on this particular show. 124 likes. Let's get up there. We got 140 y'all watching us right now. Please get that like number up. Get that likes number up and give us some love. Let's see what else we got. Oh, yeah. Our last story I guess we can get into here is the Raised by Wolves. This trailer dropped here from Ridley Scott. Very, very interesting trailer. Not a lot of name talent you would normally know from mainstream shows or mainstream films itself. This was released. HBO Max did this. They released the trailer and the poster. This is a 10-episode high-concept sci-fi series. It's called Raised by Wolves. It's executive produced by Ridley Scott. It debuts September 3rd on HBO Max, and the story centers on two androids tasked with raising human children on a mysterious virgin planet. As the burgeoning colony of humans threatens to be torn apart by religious differences, the androids learn that controlling the beliefs of humans is a treacherous and difficult task, no doubt. There's no lie there. It stars Travis Fimmel from Vikings. It also stars Amanda Collin. That's who you see throughout the trailer. She's the one with the short red hair. Abubakar Salim, Winter McGrath, Niamh Algar, Jordan Loughran, Matthias Varela, Felix Jameson, Ethan Hazard, Isaiah Shaw, and Ivy Wong. It's from writer and creator Aaron Guzikowski, David W. Zucker, who did Man in the High Castle, Jordan Sheehan from The Terror, Adam Colbrainer from Prisoners, and Mark Huffam from The Martian. They will all serve as executive producers. Ridley Scott has directed the first two episodes, making his TV directorial debut for American audiences, and said on the panel that they had for this particular show that Scott is continuing the aesthetic from his previous films like Alien and Blade Runner, and he's evolving into some new stuff we haven't seen. Now, you saw this, Alex. You saw the trailer. Yeah. This looks interesting, but also looks like it could be an absolute train wreck. What do you think when you watch this trailer?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. That picture right there, it doesn't bother me so much as an alien like holding a baby or anything. It bothered me how ill proportioned it was. Even though it's like I was looking at it and I'm like the baby's foot is like this big, and it's like its legs are not proportional to its head. It doesn't. It's anyway. The art was weird, but the show itself, I think it was really kind of interesting because I personally really love a lot of high concept, sci-fi, fantasy shows. Yeah, we can talk about Black Mirror, Altered Carbon, Westworld, Stranger Things. A lot of these, so audiences are really liking these kind of weirder, much more interesting and risky sci-fi kind of shows, this included. And it does kind of, I don't want to say it bothers me, but it does make me concerned that there isn't any like real big star talent associated with it because there was no talent. It really made me think, well, why doesn't people want to be involved with it? That was my first thought, honestly. Like, what's wrong? aside from Ridley Scott, because I'm really iffy on him as a director.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were going through Steve and I last night as we were kicking around our schedule for Cinephiles coming up in the next few weeks or next few months. We were looking at Ridley Scott because we hadn't done one in quite some time, and we're like, man, this guy. There's a lot of hits. There are some hits, but there's a lot more misses than you think for a guy who's got a name like Ridley Scott. There's quite a few more misses than you think. And you look at it and you're like, wow, there are like runs of some terrible movies and then one really good movie that keeps him still in people's minds. And then another run of some terrible movies and then a good movie. So it's just very interesting to see the things he likes to direct and things he doesn't like to direct and what he puts his talents behind. So yeah, it's an interesting situation overall. So we'll see him walking into TV. This is very interesting. Once again, it's got some Alien vibes to it. Also, the idea of a female protagonist, a wiry female protagonist who is trying to figure out. I mean, remember what was it, Alien Revolution or whatever it is called, Resurrection, where she has the baby, she has the half alien baby. Like it's all got these weird vibes to it, and it's very futuristic, obviously, with the idea of cyborg or these things that are created to kind of curate humanity and control humanity. What does that lead to? So a lot of these shows coming out lately like this. Yeah.
From what I read, so the lady, it's about androids trying to raise humans. Something happened to humans and they effed up their planet or they died or something happened. And they're trying to recreate humanity again on this new virgin planet, essentially. And so they're raising the first handful, test tube group of children.
Essentially,
and the android is played by the android they're trying to do it, and they're trying to be careful about it because at the same time you want to give them so much freedom because at the end of the day they're human. That's one of the fundamentals of being a human is that you do have a certain level of freedom, freedom of thought and everything. In theory, and she, as an android, we're like, we want to influence, but at the same time, in order to progress and become knowledgeable, at the same time, we don't want to pretty much recreate humans in the same way, if that makes sense. Right. That's what it sounded like. And overall, but and there's the idea of religion is introduced, and the idea of leadership is introduced, and that's kind of what kind of sets in motion, several new things. But Ridley Scott, there's a lot of good options for Ridley Scott. Going back to that, and he's not a director in this; he's a producer, which makes me more.
Well, he did direct the first 2 episodes, so he is directing in this. Absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean, real quick before we wrap up, let's have a quick debate about this. Yeah, I mean, like. Ridley Scott, what do you got as a director? Let's
good. Wait, you know what I would a lot of my favorite movies. I love American Gangster.
Yeah, okay.
I love G.I. Jane. G.I. Jane.
I'm not gonna say no to that.
Body of Lies is pretty great. Let's see. Obviously, Alien was really wonderful. Don't get me wrong, he has a lot of misses with Exodus. Oh God, Exodus. Yeah. I do think the Alien franchise has a lot of problems, but I do love the world introduced. I feel like it's definitely more pros and cons when it comes to the alien world. I honestly am one of the few people that actually liked The Counselor.
Oh my God, Alex!
No, I think it has a lot of problems. It does, but I do like there's very small moments, very humans, very small moments that I really appreciate. Robin Hood is a horrible movie.
Yes, it is.
I was one of the very few people that loved A Good Year with Russell Crowe. I think it's really a solid one. Kingdom of Heaven, the director's cut. One of my favorite.
Really?
Oh, that's a personal top 10 for me. Not the theatrical cut. That is a personal top 10. The movie is wonderful.
Okay.
Very not talked about enough. I also, Matchstick Men. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's wonderful. Black Hawk Down. It's a really fantastic, war movie. Hannibal. It's neither here or there. It's also a very sentimental movie because that's considered a mother-daughter movie for me. Thelma and Louise. Do we need to talk about how amazing Thelma and Louise is? Come on now.
Okay. All right.
Come on. So.
Right. Well, allow me to counterpoint.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely Alien. Definitely Blade Runner. Legend is more nostalgia than anything else.
That's
Black Rain, damn good. That's just an 80s guilty pleasure of mine. Certainly Thelma and Louise. Certainly I'm in the camp with G.I. Jane. I think that's one of the best jobs Demi Moore has done as an actress in anything. Gladiator, certainly. No Hannibal. Yes, Black Hawk Down. Yes, Matchstick Men. American Gangster. The Martian, and All the Money in the World that came out 3 years ago. That was actually damn good. So those are good ones, but misses The Duelists, Someone to Watch Over Me, 1492 Conquest, White Squall. I don't like Hannibal. I don't like Kingdom of Heaven. I just can't. Body of Lies. I didn't like. Robin Hood is terrible. Prometheus is borderline passable. Counselor is horrible. Exodus was just a train wreck.
You know, it's not a perfect movie with a movie with a ridiculous amount of brown face.
Yeah, Gods and Kings.
It's so aggressively brown face.
And he tried to explain it away, saying he couldn't sell the movie unless he put those people in it, which is, of course, ridiculous when you look at it nowadays. Like, it wasn't like all of a sudden people were like, you know what? People of color are kind of cool. No, it's always been available. It's always been there. People just didn't cast them because they bought into the stupid ass narrative that people won't come to see films or shows or anything with people of color. It's so fucking ridiculous. I get so upset about that stupidity. All it took was everybody to go, you know what? Maybe we should.
Maybe we should.
Eric Stevens says, hi guys, any recent underrated / lesser known sci-fi recommendations? Aniara is a great, or Aniara, whatever you say, is a great recent Swedish sci-fi film that's streaming on Hulu. Thanks for the suggestion, Eric. No, I don't get into sci-fi too much, but so I'm probably not the person to come to on this one.
Is that an admitted weakness of yours? Sci-fi fantasy?
For now.
Oh, interesting.
Clearly, I didn't know that damn Men in Black question, so clearly that's a weakness.
That's also an impossible question. That is, by golly, like one of the hardest 5-pointer questions I've ever heard. Personally, I don't get me wrong, I'm a 90s baby, you know.
Yeah.
So I grew up watching that movie a lot as a kid, but I feel like that's such a specific line.
Yeah. I looked it up after the match. I'm like, this shit happens like in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and it's not even made a big deal out of when it happens.
It's like a throwaway line. And
I was like, how is this a 5-pointer, for the love of God?
I don't remember my brother saying it a lot, you know, like there's a lot of in comedies and action movies, there's a bunch of, lines that, a lot of guys love. My brother, he was obsessed with a bunch of lines, in comedies, but that one he never really cared about. So maybe that's one of the reasons why I never really remember.
Tim Franco's true. Rocha wears his weaknesses. If horror or sci-fi, he's always like, oh, great. Yeah, it's true. I do, Tim. And I still won 4 titles with those weaknesses. So, it's kind of, it's the game. I always think I always know a surface amount of whatever category there is that I confront. Certainly, I know a lot more about other categories. I can hang with horror. I can hang with sci-fi to a certain extent, but it's when you get deeper into the sci-fi that I get screwed, or the horror that I get screwed sometimes. I'll be ready for almost every category by the time, if I get into the tournament, the time the tournament starts. But that's neither here nor there. But yes, you're fair to say that, Tim. Absolutely. Because I'm one of those people that doesn't care about giving you an advantage or giving you, but because none of that could come into play in a match, because you never know what the questions are going to be, and you never know what you're going to spin on the wheel. You could totally study your face off for horror and sci-fi and prep and put those slices on the wheel and hope I spin on them, and I get opponents and I get spinner's choice. And then you're like, what was the whole point of spending all those hours studying? It makes no sense. So it's like, to me, it's like that's the thing. Tim says, but if you play as long as your weaker categories will be known. Yeah, absolutely. But I've never hid them, Tim. Yeah, the first year people know, I've never been afraid of it. People like Ben hide things and whatever. And I get that. That's smart strategy for how they play the game. But I trust that I know enough about every category that I can survive. There are just certain categories that I know better. And here's another way to look at it. The reason I say, oh, great, is because I don't know those categories to the level that I would like to know those categories. So you don't know how much I actually do know in horror, in sci-fi or family movies or animated or whatever. It just may be in my personal assessment of myself. I don't know it as much, but I may know it as much as you do, but because I don't measure myself by your assessment of your knowledge in that category. So that's something to throw around your head too. All right, so there we go. Let's end the show there. We gotta get SCN Live rolling over there at 10 a.m. Thank you all so much for joining us live and watching us. And if you're listening to us on the podcast network, thank you so much for doing that too. I have started uploading all the episodes over the last couple of weeks that kind of dropped the ball a little bit onto the Outlaw Nation podcast network. Ladies and gentlemen, please go and subscribe to that. Even if you're already a fan of watching these on YouTube, please go and subscribe to the Outlaw Nation podcast network. I want to get it above 1,000 subscribers so that it can have a consistent base of people listening to those episodes. And hey, you don't even have to listen. You download it, then you just delete it off your phone. You don't even have to listen to it, but it helps support the Outlaw Nation, helps us get sponsors for the Outlaw Nation through Anchor and everything like that. So please go and subscribe if you haven't yet. I would appreciate it very, very much. Alex, thank you so much for joining me again today. And where can people find you and everything you're doing?
You can also find me on the Call to Action podcast in audio form, and everywhere podcasts are found, on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all that good stuff. So please do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, find me on Twitter right there at Real Alex Mack. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff with Schmobates, Call to Action, the podcast, and so many movies to watch. So many supernatural horror movies. It's frustrating.
Right on.
It continues. The marathon continues.
And please hit that like button. We're 9 away from 150 likes here before we wrap up the show. So I'm going to take a minute to ask you all to subscribe to the Outlaw Nation channel. While I'm taking this minute, if you haven't hit thumbs up on the button on the video, please do. Subscribe to the Outlaw Nation channel right there down below. Follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. See all the updates of all the stuff I'm doing and all the other shows I'm hosting that are not on the Outlaw Nation channel. And I'm going to be on hosting a panel or a couple of panels at the Mainframe Comic-Con coming up here in the middle of August. That's going to be a lot of fun. Don't forget, I'll be taking on the Corruption. Me and Dan are taking on Corruption later on this month. You can do that. You can watch that match as a pay-per-view, or I think it's part of the $10 tier on the Shmodown Patreon as well. So go and join that. And if you want to be part of my Patreon, it's right above my head there, www.patreon.com/John Rocha. Go and see all the multiple tiers you can be part of, the shows you can be a part of, the hangouts you can be a part of. You can help me train. I'm setting up separate hangouts for people who are serious about helping me train for these matches and what have you, so you can take a part in the victory and the losses. From what I understand, there was a watch-along of my match, and people were throwing things at the screen because they were pretty upset of some of these judges' decisions. So I appreciate that. It's very kind of the Outlaw Nation. So come be a part of it. And if I can say one thing, I'm really proud of what we've built here in terms of the conversations and the people in our Patreon and our Discord. There is no toxicity in our Discord. There's no meanness in our Discord. We work very hard to make everyone feel welcome, invited, and having great conversations and open conversations. And yeah, we'll occasionally ball bust, but it's always in good fun, and we take care of you. So if you've been hesitant, you're not sure, I ask you, come take a chance on our Outlaw Nation Discord as well. Andrew Hale runs it so well. We've picked up Cheryl is now in charge of it as well. Two people in charge of that Discord, making sure that it is a healthy, open, fun environment and no toxicity allowed. I will kick you out personally with any toxicity. So if you're looking for a place to come hang out, please consider the Outlaw Nation Discord as well as other Discords that are out there for you all to have fun with as well. All right, that's it. That's all I got. Go watch SCN Live in about a few minutes over there on the Shmodown Entertainment Network. Please follow Alex Shashek and everything she does. Please watch all the shows she hosts. She's great. And we will talk to you next time on another brand new episode of Mornings with the Outlaw on Tuesday morning at 8:30 a.m. Take care of yourselves and have a fun weekend until then. Much love. Peace.
Wear a mask.